The story I am about to unfold comes from a post that first appeared on the subreddit r/TrueOffMyChest on the 9th of April 2026. The author, who identified himself simply as the original poster, shared a raw, unfiltered account of a family drama that had been simmering for months, then boiled over in a single chaotic weekend. It is a tale of a marriage on the brink, a husband who consistently chose the path of least effort, and a wife who finally decided to turn the tables on a man who had been treating her like a convenience store clerk. I will walk you through each scene as if we were watching a slow-motion replay, letting the details settle like dust on an old photograph. The players, first, the people involved. The husband, known in the post by the nickname Dick, is a 37-year-old who works a typical 9-to-5 job at a regional logistics firm. He has always described himself as hardworking, yet his actions repeatedly suggest a preference for shortcuts over responsibility. His wife, Anna, is a 34-year-old stay-at-home mother who, in addition to caring for their 2 children, has enrolled in an online college program and runs a side business selling products for a multi-level marketing company. Their children, Liam, 4, and Maya, 6, are bright, energetic, and, according to the original poster, well-fed and loved despite the turbulence surrounding their parents. The narrator of the post, the original poster, is Dick's older brother. He lives nearby, has a good relationship with the children, and, as the story shows, a deep frustration with his siblings' behavior. The narrator's perspective is crucial because it supplies the audience with an outsider's view of the couple's dynamic, while also granting us access to the emotional undercurrents that the couple themselves might conceal. A marriage once solid. According to Anna, the first years of her marriage to Dick were by most standards solid. They met in college, bonded over a shared love of indie music, and moved into a modest 2-bedroom house in a quiet suburb of a Midwestern city. The couple welcomed Liam in 2019 and Maya in 2021. During those early years, Dick would help with bedtime stories, change diapers, and even attend parent-teacher conferences. Anna recalls that they would sit together on the back porch after the kids fell asleep, sharing a bottle of cheap wine and discussing their hopes for the future. Those moments, she says, felt like a genuine partnership. The slow decline. The post, however, makes clear that the marriage began to deteriorate shortly after the children arrived. Anna attributes 99% of the blame to Dick. She describes a pattern where Dick would claim, "I'm exhausted after work," as an excuse to avoid any household chores beyond the occasional garbage run. When Anna tried to discuss the imbalance, Dick would respond with a defensive shrug, often insisting that a man's job is to bring home the money. Over time, Anna's patience eroded, replaced by a quiet resentment that grew louder each night she spent alone in the kitchen, preparing meals for 3 hungry mouths while Dick watched television. The tension reached a tipping point when Anna decided to join a multi-level marketing network. The company, which sells health supplements and skincare products, promised financial independence and a supportive community. While the venture required a steep learning curve, Anna found solace in the friendships she forged at weekly virtual meetups. She began to feel a renewed sense of purpose, a contrast to the stagnant routine at home. The planned staycation. In early April, the MLM organization announced a large convention in a nearby city, a 3-day event featuring motivational speakers, product showcases, and networking opportunities. Anna, eager to capitalize on the momentum, booked a staycation at a boutique hotel just a few blocks from the convention center. She invited 2 of her newly minted team members, both also mothers, to join her. The plan was set months in advance. They would share a double suite, attend breakout sessions in the mornings, and unwind with dinner at a local bistro in the evenings. Anna meticulously prepared a schedule, noting the times of each workshop, the locations of the breakout rooms, and even the dietary restrictions of each participant. She communicated the plan to Dick 2 weeks prior, asking him to request time off from work. Dick, in a text that reads simply "yeah," assured her that he would handle the paperwork. Anna, needing the break both for personal rejuvenation and for professional networking, reminded him repeatedly in the weeks that followed. She asked, "Did you get approval from your boss? And will you be home for the kids on Thursday?" Each time, Dick replied with a vague "I'm on it," never providing concrete confirmation. The emergency call. On the night before the convention, Anna called her brother, the original poster, in a trembling voice. She told him that Dick had just messaged her, claiming an emergency at work that would prevent him from taking the requested days off. He said he would need to work a long shift on Tuesday and then fly out on Wednesday for a business trip that had supposedly been scheduled at the last minute. He apologized profusely, promising to make it up to her later. Anna's reaction was visceral. She burst into tears, the sound echoing through the hallway as she clutched a half-packed suitcase. "He's doing this on purpose," she whispered, "to keep me from going." The original poster, hearing the desperation in his sister's voice, tried to calm her. He told her to finish packing to pick up the kids from school and assured her that he would watch the children until Dick returned. He also warned her, "Don't let him manipulate you again. He's already lying to you about the business trip." Anna, however, was reluctant to let anyone else step into the middle of her marital conflict. She told her brother, "I don't want you involved. This is between me and Dick." The original poster responded with a blunt, "Fuck Dick. I'm not going to be a pawn in his games." He added, "We've never been close and I don't care how he reacts." The tone was decisive, a rare moment of solidarity from a sibling who had often been on the periphery of the family drama. The night of the confrontation, when the children were finally dropped off at school. The original poster took them to his own house, a modest 2-story home with a fenced backyard that smelled faintly of fresh-cut grass. He prepared a simple dinner of spaghetti and meatballs, the sauce simmering on the stove, the aroma filling the kitchen. While the kids colored in their picture books, he kept an eye on his phone, expecting a call from Dick that never came. Around 10 o'clock, Dick finally arrived, his shoes scuffed from the long drive home. He carried a duffel bag, his hair disheveled, and a tired grin that barely concealed the guilt he felt. The original poster opened the front door, and as soon as Dick stepped inside, he launched into a tirade. "You are a selfish piece of shit," he shouted, his voice reverberating off the hallway walls. "You promised Anna a break, you lied about your business trip, and you left her to scramble alone." Dick tried to interject, his voice hoarse. "I'm sorry. I had to," but the original poster cut him off, slamming his phone on the kitchen counter and switching it to do not disturb mode. "No more excuses," he said. "You have a family, you have responsibilities. If you can't handle a simple request for time off, then you're unfit to be a parent." The confrontation escalated quickly. Dick's phone buzzed with a flurry of missed calls from Anna, each one displaying a red notification badge. He fumbled for his phone, trying to call her back, but the original poster intercepted. "Don't call her unless it's an emergency involving the kids." He then stepped aside, allowing the children to finish their dinner in uneasy silence. The aftermath, ultimatums and cold calls. The next morning, Anna called Dick, her voice trembling but steady. "You have 2 options," she told him. "Either we go to marriage counseling or we start seeing divorce lawyers. It's your choice, but you have to stop calling me unless it's an emergency about the children or you're calling to talk to them directly." The tone was final, a stark departure from the pleading pleas of the previous weeks. Dick, taken aback, tried to negotiate. "I can't afford a lawyer right now," he said, "and counseling is too expensive." Anna, however, was unmoved. "You have been making excuses for months," she replied. "If you want to keep this family together, you need to start acting like a responsible adult." Later that day, Dick appeared at the original poster's house, his face a mask of frustration. He pressed his forehead against the Ring camera, his voice echoing through the speaker. "What am I supposed to do with the kids?" he asked, the question dripping with desperation. The original poster, still seething, asked, "Did you even request the time off from work?" Dick hesitated, then muttered, "I have an important business trip." He added, "Anna won't give me the contact info for the babysitters. Can you watch them?" The original poster's response was a cold, unequivocal, "Get the fuck off my property with your bullshit." He reminded Dick that Anna had already prepared meals for the children, organized their clothes for the week, and left a detailed itinerary of their daily schedule. "If you were any kind of parent," he said, "you would already have the contact information for the babysitter. Your in-laws won't return your calls, and you're flying solo this week after canceling your alleged business trip. You need to sort this out yourself." The final blow. Anna, meanwhile, was at the hotel, surrounded by the buzz of the convention. She attended a workshop on building authentic teams, where the speaker emphasized the importance of setting boundaries with toxic individuals. As she listened, she felt a strange sense of vindication. The stories of manipulation and control mirrored her own experience with Dick. She took notes, scribbled down phone numbers of potential new business contacts, and during a coffee break, texted her brother, "I'm finally getting the break I deserve. I'll deal with Dick when I get home. Thanks for having my back." When the convention ended, Anna checked her phone. Dick had left several voicemails, each one a pleading monologue about how he was trying his best and how the kids would be fine. She listened, her eyes narrowing. She then called the original poster and said, "I'm going to file for divorce next week. I can't keep living like this." The original poster replied, "Good, he needs to feel the consequences of his lies." The takeaway. The story ends not with a neat resolution, but with a lingering sense of poetic justice. Dick finds himself alone, his excuses stripped away, his family's patience exhausted. Anna, empowered by the support of her brother and the camaraderie of her MLM community, steps into a future where she no longer has to accommodate a partner who consistently chooses convenience over commitment. The children, meanwhile, remain the silent witnesses to the drama. Their routines disrupted, but their basic needs still met by the people who truly care for them. What does this episode teach us about relational dynamics? First, it illustrates how a pattern of small, everyday neglect can snowball into a crisis when one partner refuses to share the emotional and logistical load. Second, it shows the power of setting firm boundaries. Anna's ultimatum forced Dick to confront the reality of his behavior. Third, it underscores the importance of a support network. The original poster's willingness to intervene, even if only by refusing to enable Dick's excuses, provided Anna with the emotional reinforcement she needed to make a decisive move. In the end, the drama is not about a single fast one that a husband tried to pull on his wife. It is about the cumulative weight of countless responses, the silent acceptance of an unequal partnership, and the moment when a woman decides that enough is enough. It is a reminder that in any relationship, the smallest lies can become the biggest betrayals when they are allowed to fester. And for anyone watching from the sidelines, the lesson is clear. Sometimes the only way to protect the people you love is to let the person who keeps breaking promises feel the full impact of his own negligence.